is the biggest illegal gathering I've ever seen. I've heard what the last speaker had to say, and I agree. We are going to change South Africa. What we've got to decide is the best way to do that. And as angry as we have the right to be, let us remember that we are in this struggle to kill the idea that one kind of man is superior to another kind of man. And killing that idea is not dependent on the white man. We must stop looking to him to give us something. We have to fill the black community with our own pride. We have to teach our children black history. Tell them about our black heroes, our black culture, so they don't face the white man believing they are inferior. Then we'll stand up to him any way he chooses. Conflict if he likes, but with an open hand too. To say that we can all build a South Africa worth living in. A South Africa for equals, black or white. A South Africa as beautiful as this land is, as beautiful as we are.
That's how I feel about.
I mean, how do you reconcile the fact that she was a liberal before she took that conservative stance?
I don't even care about her politics. She could be a Republican and not be against her own people. Just because you're a Republican don't mean you against your people.
So
we ain't gonna
further the discussion on Candace Owens, but I just had to throw that out there.
Yeah, but Jerome, that was a good point. Jerome, that was a good point though, because before she even got married,
I made a whole video talking about the hypocrisy of Kamala Harris. So I'm not worried about her politics.
Right. Now, I like the point that Jerome brought up though, because a lot of people don't know. A lot of people know Candace Owens now that she's hit the spotlight. A lot of people didn't know nothing about Candace Owens, but she was doing nothing but fighting for black people. A lot of people haven't seen when she sat up there in front of Congress and went ham on this white man for what he said about black people. People just see the videos that she do now and all of a sudden assume that she a coon. Why they can't have their own thoughts and feelings regardless of who they married to? That don't mean their head is up the white man's butt just because they have an opinion about something that goes on in their neighborhood.
There's plenty of people that have been married to white people that wouldn't coons. Harry Belafonte. It's plenty that you can name that still fought for their people in a positive manner.
I know some coons.
I'm not, again, I could be wrong. This is my opinion. I could be completely wrong. I ain't saying that I'm right. This is how I feel about her and what she do. So and Brandon Tatum and what he do. I feel like black people coming at black people about particular elements of our day-to-day lives that some of us systemically have no control over is BS. It's bullshit. Because if we had actual control over the elements around us, it'll be one thing. But some of us are in predicaments that we have no control over. And as a matter of fact, and this ain't no conspiracy theory, we know for a fact that we've been put in certain positions, some of us, not all of us, but a lot of us have been put in certain positions purposely by this government. We've seen the reports where George Walker Bush, or not George Walker Bush, but the first Bush, was part of a intensive program under Richard Nixon to put drugs in our neighborhoods. When he was the vice president of the United States under Ronald Reagan, the Iran-Contra project was paid for by
Let me ask you this, Piankhi.
illegal drugs in black neighborhoods.
Piankhi, let me ask you this. They did put drugs in black neighborhoods. Let me ask you this. Is that justification for why anybody picked up a blunt or picked up a crack pipe or picked up a needle?
Let me tell you why I don't need justification. When you
we
put
got
people,
mountains. Hold up, bro. We got mountains.
People in desperate situations. When you put people in desperate situations,
that's not desperate, bro. That's not desperate. It is desperate.
No, hold on.
Nobody
so I tell you what.
Nobody makes you pick up a crack pipe, bro.
Let's let the brothers have their conversation, and then me and you can have that conversation.
Okay. Jerome and Marlon, back to the conversation that y'all was having about the post that went. Jerome, go ahead, and then Marlon, go on and give your counter argument to what Jerome was saying.
All right. So initially the video wasn't necessarily about Malcolm X. It was about Khalid Muhammad. Now, what Khalid Muhammad was doing in the few minutes of the video that Marlon posted was he was talking about I believe it was things that happened in the Jim Crow era where dogs were sicked on black women, black people were beat down and all that type of stuff. And what he proceeded to do was he proceeded to call them, he said the two-legged dogs sick the four-legged dogs on black people. And I'm paraphrasing. And, what he proceeded to do at the end of the video was he proceeded to make the statement that it's impossible for us to live among white people or the white man. And I immediately felt like he made an overgeneralization of white people in his statement. Now, Marlon's argument is that what he was saying was true. And I agree that it was true, but he should have been more accurate with the specific white people he was talking about. He should have said, and this is me personally, what he should have said was it's impossible for us as black people to live among white races, not white people, white races. And so we had a back and forth about that. And one of my points came from a video that I saw Malcolm X being interviewed when his house was firebombed by some Nation of Islam members. And what he said at the end of his video was that the Nation of Islam had taken on the mind of the Klan. So I feel like that's the exact same instance we get in the video with Khalid Muhammad. And that was it.
Go ahead, Marlon.
Yeah, Marlon, go ahead, bro. Marlon. Unmute yourself, bro.
All right. Well, well, the thing he was saying was that he's overgeneralizing and whatever else he was saying. And I was like, okay, how can he overgeneralize the truth? I mean, those are actual events that took place. And true, it may not have been all white people, but I'll say this. And just like we said in Africa and other places, when you have a power that leads you, okay, I don't care if you don't like the power. I don't care who the hell you say you are. If you can't overthrow the power, you're going to go with it. So any white person that speaks against it, I understand. But at the same time, when it comes down to it, they're not going to go against the power. If they people say move, they're going to move. Sorry, black guy, got to do it to you. I mean, let's be real. Am I wrong? No.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he didn't overgeneralize anything. He was just telling the truth of what they did. He didn't overgeneralize nothing.
Yes, you did. Yes, he did, and you doing the same thing. Because if you're gonna make that argument, then what about Jane Fonda and the Black Panther Party? That's one example. She actually was arrested multiple times for helping the Black Panthers to maneuver in certain parts of America. So, who gave her that command?
Same thing. I mean, okay.
To me, it's like allegiance isn't tied to skin color, bro. because if the Nation of Islam, who were black men and women, felt the need to firebomb Malcolm X's house while his daughters were in the room sleeping, and you have another instance where Jane Fonda, a well-established white woman, felt the need to help out the Black Panther Party because she saw the injustice that was taking place during that time, then that shows you right there that allegiance is not tied to skin color, bro. It's a heart issue.
Okay, you're talking about one person or a group of people out of a conglomerate, all right? And that can happen in that can happen in our community. Like I said, if the roles were switched around and we were doing white people like they're doing us, we might have one or two black people that feel like all these bodies are going to start stacking up on us if we keep killing these people. I mean, that's the only thing that's going to make anybody change their mind about it, bro. You're killing humans. No matter what color, no matter what race, humans killing humans is wrong and we know it. So yeah, they're going to feel some type of way about it. But at the end of the day, hey, they winning. So what the fuck do they really care, man?
Okay, Marley, let me step over here for a second if I can try to make sense of the situation. What you were saying was that the dude in the video was right in making that blanket statement. What Jerome was saying was since he made the blanket statement, that makes him wrong unless he can prove that all white people have that type of mentality. And since we can prove that all white people do not have that type of mentality, the person in the video making a blanket statement was wrong. That's what Jerome is saying. Do you agree or disagree with that?
I understand, and that's minuscule to the facts, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. The man was stating facts.
I'm saying though, that was Jerome's whole argument, was that the dude made a blanket statement.
Huh?
I'm asking you, Molly. Did the man in the video make a blanket statement?
Was it? Hold on, let me take these earphones. These things, hold on. Give me a second. I'm gonna answer.
Okay.
All right. Now repeat your question.
The man in the video that y'all was watching, did he make a blanket statement?
No, he made all real statements. And okay, I'm gonna say this right here. Everybody always has to say, well, you can't point the finger at all. I'm gonna say this one more time, bro. I'm not pointing the finger at all white people, okay?
So therefore, hold on.
Is the power.
Stop right there, Molly. Since you just said you're not pointing the finger at all white people, then that means you disagree with the statement. You disagree with the blanket statement.
No, I don't, because they point the finger.
You just said it. You just said that
I don't have to point at you. You stand out, bro. I don't have to point. Listen, you run with them, bro. Them are your people. You're born white. I'm born black. Okay.
So all white people run with all white people, and all black people run with all black people.
The power runs it, bro. I don't give a damn what you say. And if you make too much noise, they'll get rid of your ass.
If I may, can I give a?
They'll get rid of your monkey ass.
If I may, can I give a statement, and then I'm gonna mute.
Go ahead.
So let me give a prime example. Now again, y'all dealing with somebody who I've never said all white people are racist, right? Yeah. And I've had white friends, just like the one I just provided the screenshot of. I had a white friend prior to him, a man named Dan. When this man was going through, went through a divorce, me and my wife took that man Thanksgiving dinner back when that was a big deal for me. You know, those type of holidays. They not no more, but when they was, I took that man food after his wife had left him and took the kids and the whole demo. So now here's why I bring that up. This man, Dan, who we became close, been to his house, breakfast, lunch, dinner, etc. At one point, when I was separated from my wife, he was going through what he was going through. We talked about moving in together. This is a white man and a black man. Now, it didn't come to fruition because lucky for me, my wife and I were able to reconcile our situation. Unfortunately, he was not. When the Mike Brown thing happened here in St. Louis, the big Ferguson situation, of course, I had came into consciousness, as it were, a couple of years earlier, and that journey was still on its ascension. And so I had strong comments about it. I was out in the street with the protest, etc. I met the young rapper J. Cole. So I'm talking about it in the way that I talk about these things, right? And he came on my post and he said, well, Doug, Mike Brown was no angel, as if he knew Mike Brown personally. So I asked him, I said, hey, Dan, I said, do you know Mike Brown? He said, no, but I've heard enough about him. You've heard enough about him. I think Darren Wilson, or he said Officer Wilson, was just doing his job. And I said, okay. I say, as your friend, I'm gonna advise you to get off my post, because you're about to hear some things that you're not gonna like, not only from me, but from everybody else who are about to get on this post. So I'm just gonna suggest that you get off this post. He didn't take my advice, and so a couple of days later, he inboxing me like, I can't believe people were saying what they were saying about me and blah, blah, blah. But here's my point, my overall point. Number one, white people like to say, get their point across, and they don't necessarily like to hear what the ramifications of getting that point across is. That's number one. But number two, and most importantly, is when white people see certain situations where a color line is drawn, they pick a side. And my friend, who I fed when he was home, he picked a side. Absolutely.
Too, though. I mean,
that's human nature, understand, I'm not saying he was wrong. I'm not. I'm not saying he was wrong. I'm telling you, he was right to do so. And I'm glad he did so, because it allowed me the ability to draw the same line. And so I'm not mad at Marlon for feeling how he feels. I'm not necessarily mad at him for saying I don't have time to evaluate what white person is a good old boy and what white person ain't. Because at the end of the day, 9 times out of 10, they gonna pick a side, and it ain't gonna be ours. I mean, that's all.
I see that since everybody share the same earth together, we should take time out to figure out who is right.
100% right.
And the reason why I feel like people should since we all do share the same earth, same neighborhood, same countries and all that, I feel like people should take the time out to get to know people individually. And the reason why I say that is because I don't want nobody making no blanket statement about me. I stay in the hood, but I don't want no white person to run up on me and be like, oh, well, since you stay in the hood, you sell drugs, you rob cars. I don't do any of that. So separate me from those black people who do that. And the only lines that can be drawn is not colorism. First off, classism is the first line to be drawn before racism was ever even a thing. The rich hung with the rich, the poor hung with the poor, no matter what color you was. This racism thing, first off, is modern. So people pick sides and draw lines based off a variety of things. For example, I would rather go stay around white people who think just like me than to be around black people who don't think like me. That's a line I would draw. I don't want to stay around dudes who you can't walk down the block without crossing the street. I would rather go stay in a neighborhood with black, white, Mexican, and other people who are just as safe as I am, or just as, I look out for my neighbor as I am, than to worry about, oh, well, dang, this over here, this apartment on the side of mine is a trap house, but oh, let me ignore the trap house because the dude black. No, I don't want to be around you. I don't care what skin color you are. So I feel like colorism is not the only lines that are drawn, and especially knowing that racism is a modern thing, a lot of people don't even draw lines based off of racism around the world. That's dominant only over here in America, not across the world. So it can't be true for our people, black, white, or whatever color you is. So
but let's be clear though. The white and black line was drawn here in America in the 1500s.
I mean, yeah, if it is a war.
We all heard about Bacon's Rebellion. So when you say it's a modern thing, it definitely is. We heard about Bacon's Rebellion and how the rich class of white people saw black people or African people, because nobody said black back then. You was African and you wasn't African. You was specifically Nigerian or Ghanaian or whatever country in Africa you was from. You was French, you was Dutch, you was English or whatever. Now, they saw those people, those indentured servants who were from all areas of the world working together for a common goal. And those elite people said, we got to do something about this. We can't have this. And so again, we heard the stories. A Dutchman ran away, who was an indentured servant. An Englishman ran away, who was an indentured servant, or an Irishman, I forget which one. But it was definitely an English, an African, and either a Dutchman and an Irishman. They ran away. Now, when they caught these three individuals, two of which was of European descent, either an Englishman and an Irishman or an Englishman and a Dutchman, and they caught that African, the two people, the two men who were of European descent, got 7 more years indentured servitude. This is in the colony of Virginia, in what would become the United States, but it wasn't quite the United States yet. But when they caught them, they gave the 2 Europeans 7 more years indentured servitude to the person they ran away from, and 7 more years indentured servitude to the colony of Virginia. What did they give the African? They gave that African lifetime servitude, because what was happening all over the world? Slavery, as it pertained to people going and getting, whether it was through kidnapping or trade, African people. And so they made that man of African descent a lifetime servant or slave. And all of a sudden, the United States, or what would become the United States, was full stock into the Atlantic slave trade. So again, you're right. This is a modern thing, but America drew the line.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Okay, Piankhi, let me get your opinion.
It's appropriate that America continues to perpetuate the racial line. That's all I'm saying.
Let me get your opinion on this. No, listen, bro. Let me get your opinion on this. You heard about the so-called. Now, I know he wasn't like literally the first person to have a slave. They just counted under a court document. How you feel about? I can't think of his name. I think it's Anthony John or something, whatever. How you feel about the black man who they say was the first person to own a slave legally? How you feel about that, Piankhi?
I don't feel any way about it. It's a historical situation. You had black families all along the colonies of what would become America that had slaves, but we categorized them as slaves, but what they were in reality were indentured servants.
Yeah, servants. Yeah, yeah.
Like see, you're right. We have to make a line of demarcation between what a slave in what will become the antebellum South of the United States is and indentured servant. Yeah. People had indentured servants. Black people had indentured servants. Now, guess what happened after America got full stock into the slave trade? Them black people were stripped of their land, they were stripped of their property, and they so-called slaves. They ain't have them no more. That was over. Because now—
You brought up a good point, Piankhi.
Now you wasn't a citizen. You wasn't a citizen who was able to have property, because you was about to become somebody property if you ain't get your ass up where they wasn't doing that up in the north somewhere. That's what happened.
You brought up a good point. Piankhi, you brought up a good point, bro. Because a lot of people don't even know that the original so-called slaves that came to America, like you said, they weren't slaves. They came over here as indentured servants. Yeah, a lot of people don't even know that. Yeah, that's true. Jerome, you want to add to the convo?
Well, for me, I was kind of going to respond to what Marlon said, but you know.
Yeah, no, go ahead. Address it.
Yeah, this still y'all bill. I got sidetracked. I apologize for that. This still y'all bill.
Yeah, I kind of forgot what points Marlon touched on.
Y'all was talking about, you were saying that the person in the video made a blanket statement. Yeah. And since the person made a blanket statement, you disagreed. And Marlon was saying that he agreed and disagreed. He kind of contradicted himself, but go ahead.
Yeah, because I mean, you can't say that what Khalid Muhammad was saying was true, and then on the other hand say that it's not all white people, because to him it's all white people. To a lot of the members of the Nation of Islam, because I've talked to members of the Nation of Islam personally.
Let me retract that statement.
I've seen.
Let me retract that statement.
Okay. But based on my experience, I've seen how they interact with white people, man. Like I was talking to some 3, and these were guys who were older than anybody on this panel. You know what I'm saying? And this white woman happened to pull up where we were having our little dialogue at, and she was asking for directions. And you know what I'm saying? They like, oh, don't pay her no attention. I'm like, cause she white.
Fuck that. Yeah.
You know, bro, that what righteousness is that if the lady ain't doing nothing but asking y'all for directions? Like what kind of mind frame do you have to don't pay her no attention? She white. Like, come on, bro. Like what that's stupid.
What's your definition of righteousness, man?
Now we're paying evil with evil. Now we're paying evil for evil.
Exactly. Give her directions. All she did was ask for directions. She obviously don't know the area. So give her directions. If you so righteous, then walk in righteousness, bro. Don't say that you walking in righteousness and exhibit prejudice towards somebody because of they skin color.
Not just
you doing the same thing. You doing the same thing.
No, I'm not. I'm being righteous to myself by protecting myself from the devils, man.
Man,
what are you talking about?
That's crazy, bro. Marlon, all you doing in essence is spewing what white racists were spewing first. You just reformed it, repackaged it.
That's what they told you. That's what they told you to make themselves feel like,
That's what history tells us, bro. That's what history tells us. That's why I could never ever be a 5%, a member of the Nation of Islam, or none of that, because I know how y'all underneath all that rhetoric, bro. That's why I could never. It ain't no
rhetoric. We come straight up and tell you who we don't agree with white people. Straight up.
You just spew some of it. So a white lady asking for directions is the devil now? Come on, bro. That don't make no sense at all.
I wouldn't answer ass either. I don't even know what you're talking about. I'm sorry. I can't help you.
That's just why I couldn't be a 5%er right there.
Hold up, y'all. Give me 1 second. Hold up, y'all. Piankhi, open up the screen share, bro. Bro, y'all go ahead. You're on.
That's why I could never align myself with brothers like that, bro. Because it ain't no righteousness coming out of that. You somebody asking for directions, and now she the devil.
All right,
because she asking for directions.
Check it out. I'm gonna step away for a little minute.
Look, bro,
that's
go
crazy.
ahead and handle your business for a bit.
All right, got it. All right, child. Let's pull up the definition of righteous or conduct. Okay. Morally right. Okay. Very good. Excellent. So how can a person portray a righteous standard with repaying evil with evil? It's not righteous. Now, I want to say this too. Marlon, you let it be known a while ago that Black people were not acting a certain way in ancient times. Only white people were acting this evil way in ancient times. So now that we get to 2021, if you claim that the white people were first acting evil, then if you take on evil towards them, then you are taking on what they was doing first. So that will make it evil.
Exactly. Myself. If I'm protecting my dignity of me and my people against the people trying to destroy it, that's righteous, man.
So her asking,
I'm looking at the definition right now, man.
I got on the screen.
Her asking for directions. What is her asking for directions have to do? Because we literally the only people in the parking lot, bro.
Okay, we'll find some white people. Shit, y'all got this motherfucker out.
You're not making no sense, bro. You're not making no sense at all, bro. You're not, because she don't see. You know what's crazy about it? You know what's crazy about it? She don't see that we just, we Black people, so she not gonna ask us. She see us as people, so she gonna ask us because she feel like we the people of the area, and she don't know the area. It don't matter whether we Black or not to her.
Black person, because they know their area and they know it very well. So I'm gonna ask this Black person.
Now you hopping on assumption, because if we the only 3 people in the parking lot,
that's what it was.
Bro, you don't even know what if the area we were in was predominantly white and we the only 3 Black people out there for the most part, and she saw us in a particular parking lot that she pulled up in and needed directions because
she knows your area. She knows you know the area. If you're in it, you live there.
She's the only people that she see out there. It don't have
you somebody white to ask, nigga. Don't ask us.
Nobody out there was white for her to ask, bro. You ain't making no sense, man.
We're gonna humble up and tell you white ass because we scared of you. Man, go ahead, get this shit,
I'm not scared of him. You scared of him. That's why you acting like
Marlon, you ain't scared of no white woman, man. Stop.
Hell no, I ain't.
Okay, so come on, man. Marlon, help the lady find her way, man. Come on, man.
I'm gonna help her find a way.
Y'all.
I'm gonna help her find a way. She gonna find a way to know not to fuck with nobody black, because we don't fuck with you, man. I'm gonna slap the shit out you, man. Get your ass out my
bro.
face, man.
Come on, big bro, man. I know you don't do that. I want to chalk it up to us just being online, bro. I know you don't be doing that in real life, dude.
Man, listen, brother. I mean, real shit. I'm gonna tell you straight up, man. Straight the fuck up. All right. When it comes to white people, man, real shit. And it ain't just me. They've created such a line of hate between us and them. Okay. Most black people, they tuck it away and humble it. You know what I'm saying? Because they're scared, man.
No, it's the right thing to do.
People, okay.
No,
that's not righteous, man. Yes, I'm not going to fold myself in front of God for nobody, man. The Bible tells you not to do that, bro.
No, it don't. The Bible says
if it don't.
The Bible says forgive people.
You don't have godly wisdom, bro.
Right?
Okay, no,
you're not exhibiting. First of all, you're not exhibiting no humility. So that tells me right there that you don't have any godly wisdom that you claim to have.
Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do.
According to you, but what you saying right now ain't exhibiting godly wisdom. So you can have your opinion on it.
Let me tell you something. God ain't soft, man.
Objectively, it takes a lot of fortitude.
Well, we told to go with the ways of the white man to keep our asses here on earth.
What's the way of the white man?
What's the way of the white man?
Than anything.
What's the way of the white man?
Don't like that shit.
Marlon, what's the way of the white man?
Huh?
Yeah.
What's the way of the white man?
I mean, pretty much what I've been saying all night, bro. They are weak, okay, and they're in search of something to make themselves relevant, okay, and that's a white person's biggest problem here on earth, bro. They are irrelevant. They are irrelevant to everybody else.
All people do that, bro.
I can't say that. Black people, let me tell you something. Black people don't have to do much to make themselves relevant, bro. We don't have to do nothing but show up. That's it.
Hold on, real quick, Marlon, real quick. All people have sought to colonize all other indigenous people.
Say what?
I know we're not going back to this argument.
No, I'm asking
what
the question.
Happened? Repeat the question, Piankhi.
Are we saying that all people do what the European do or have done? Is that what we're saying?
No. I asked him what is the white way. He gave a specific statement. So based off the statement he gave, not what you saying, Piankhi, based off the statement that he gave, every famous person in the world who have gotten famous, they seek or have sought out something better for their life. So if that's a white thing, that's something everybody does. Everybody seeks value in their life or to go up the ladder. That's not a white thing.
Okay, but is hurting the people to get it? Is that the way to go? Does the Bible teach you to do that?
That's not a white thing either. That's an individual characteristic, no matter what skin color you are.
Okay. Hold. You said characteristic. Okay, white people trying to take the whole fucking world, bro. They're not being. They want to take the whole world. They don't want to take
have to get the timer. We're gonna have to get the timer back going because I'm about to get Metu the God and Kimra up in here.
Okay, let's get ready to end the show then, bro. We start another one. Are you talking about bringing them on this panel?
Yeah,
we're gonna bring them on this. We're gonna continue this on race.
Bring them in.
Okay. Let's do it. Let's go.
I don't feel like I should cover my heart and feel sorry for people that been
into another show once we're done with this convo. But I feel like this convo ain't over.
No, it ain't.
Okay.
Hell no,
that's cool with me. I'm just asking. Shit. I'm just asking. Me and Jerome will take on 4 people. You know what I'm saying? We Christians. Jesus took on the world.
I ain't no box, man. I can't fold with so much, man. I ain't gonna keep folding, bro. I'm not doing that.
God
didn't make me man to fold with nobody else over no
giving somebody directions ain't folding, bro. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Come on, man. The directions you giving us ain't right for people. The law ain't even the law. That's admiralty law. If you look,
we talking about directions to a street, man. We ain't talking about no.
Oh man, come on, bro.
I don't know what
I would have told her. I would have told her. No, I don't know what you're talking about, man. Go ahead on about your business. Man. I really would have, and that would have been being nice for me. That would have been being, and I've done it. That's nice. Really, I'm telling you, get your ass on for somebody hurt you, and I'm being nice.
Yeah, you gonna hurt somebody for asking. You gonna hurt somebody for asking for direction.
I'm not gonna hurt you for asking. I'm not gonna hurt you for asking. I'm gonna hurt you if you stay in your ass there after I tell you to leave.
Man, hold up, y'all.
Real quick.
We got Kimra in the building. Kimra in the building, y'all. Hold up.
We got a heavy hitter, the phenom Kimra Nasu Shekhamad in the building. What's up, my brother?
What's up?
What's up, man? Peace to the family. How you guys doing this evening, brothers?
We good, man.
Chilling, talking trash as usual. You know how it go.
I mean, that's beautiful. I love to get into this talking to trash. Let's get it.
So we're talking about racism.
Yeah.
Go ahead and break it down, Trust.
Now, Marlon and Jerome had watched a video, and they both took away different point of views from it. To fast forward to what's going on now, Jerome was saying that him and a group of black guys was in a parking lot, and a white lady came and asked him for directions. And Jerome was saying, you know, what's wrong with giving her directions? And Marlon was saying, well, since she was white, I wouldn't have gave her no directions because, you know, all the stuff that white people did to black people and blase. So that's where we're at now.
Okay.
Do you want to chime in on that? If a white person asks you for a direction, Kimra, would you not give it to them simply because they white, or would it just be like, man, get a person?
Yeah, I really don't think that. In my we practice definitely as far as the spiritual system. There's no reason for me to antagonize a person especially when they're coming to me and asking me a question. I wouldn't say, no, I wouldn't give you something because you're white or anything like that. That's not the way that I would proceed. You know what I'm saying? As far as, you know, what's going on. But there's a couple of factors in that. If she's asking for directions in a polite manner, because I've had women, white women especially, and see, I'm kind of, sometimes I'll veer off into a lower frequency. And what I'll do is that I've had a couple of white women who were on elevators with me, and I'm a big black guy. So they're grabbing their purses, you know, scared of me being around. And so I would freak out and start screaming like, oh my God, don't take me into slavery no more. Don't beat me. Don't destroy me. Oh my God. You know, and then,
play the card.
And then their whole attitude will shift because it's not me, it's not you that should fear me, it's me that should fear you. You understand what I'm saying?
Hold on, Kimra, hold on. You sound like some. I need to come hang out with you. You sound like some stuff, man.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna. Yeah, because and the reason why I say that is because, like I said, I would not, if a person's asking for directions, I'm not going to sit up there and discriminate. Because they are white. It depends. It also does, just to add an extra option to that, it does depend on the manner in which they approach you. A lot of white people do have a smugness about them. They have a way in which they approach people, and it just depends on how you know what I'm saying, receive that at that particular time.
Okay, well, let me give you a little bit of context in what took place. Okay. Now, we're in the parking lot of a Family Dollar. We're near downtown Columbia, South Carolina, right? Okay. It's me and two older guys. The guys are older than everybody on this panel right now. Okay. And you know, we discussing certain things because, you know, they Muslim or whatever. And this car happens to pull up in the parking lot. Mind you, now we the only three out there at that time. So the lady opens the door and she politely asks for directions. Their response was, "Oh, don't pay her no attention." And I'm like, "Why? Is it because she's white?" And they pretty much confirmed it. And I'm like, I mean, how is that right? Like y'all talk all this righteous rhetoric, but y'all gonna ignore this lady who's politely asking for directions because she white? I was like, bro, I can't rock with that.
Yeah, I don't think that I would have reacted, especially knowing the situation and the circumstances that you guys were in. I don't myself. I don't perceive it. I don't act in a particular way. But now I will say this. Especially in South Carolina, you know, those are big, heavy slave states. You understand what I'm saying? And then some people can say, well, if I speak to this white woman, somebody would somebody would perceive it in a different manner. You know what I'm saying? Like there's certain situations that I would say, okay, I'll lean to that. Okay, I won't. But as far as like someone that's asking for directions, absolutely not.
Go ahead, Marlon.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you like this, man. Real talk. I'm a 5%er. Okay. And anybody who knows anything about the nation of Islam or the 5% nation, you know how we perceive white people.
Absolutely.
And honestly, after looking at the history and the now,
agreed.
I don't see where what we saying or how we feel about them is wrong, bro.
Okay.
And I don't see the reason for them doing what they're doing to us, because the only thing it makes me say is we had to do something wrong to white people, and we're the only people in the world that are enslaved right now. They're not Mexicans enslaved, no Chinese, no Japanese, no other race of people except black people. It has to be something about us, the reason why they want to enslave us. And I'm just trying to figure it out, bro.
I agree. I think I agree to a certain extent.
Yeah, but slavery hasn't ended, bro. Slavery's still going on in a lot of countries around the world right now, bro. It ain't just black people, but I feel you though.
Yeah, and I'm agreeing with you on that. Like when you do look at the history, and when you actually become a student of history, it pisses you off because you see exactly how we were treated, the evil, the inhumane ways in which we were treated, buck breaking or and different things like that. The molestation of our children, different laws being comprised to basically help white women to get out of murdering our children because they were the #1 assailants of our children, the #1 murderers of our black and brown children. So like you definitely get angry at things like that. But you know what I'm saying? As any great leader, or as any person of knowledge, we know that there's a proper way to handle a situation. I tell all my young Thundercats, is what I like to call them, good people, you know what I'm saying? But we have to be smart about the way in which we attack. We have to be smart about the way in which we go about things. And I think that I definitely agree with you as far as the historicity aspect of it. It does make you angry and upset, but I challenge everybody on this panel. What do we do about racism? What is it that we can do to help to prevent racism?
Before anybody go in, real quick, we got another heavy hitter. Oh shit, we got
Mitchell in the building.
The comedic scientists in the building.
Here we go. Yeah.
My brother, speak your speech.
What's up, Mitchell?
Oh, look at that Garvey picture. Ooh, look at that Garvey. Woo!
Yeah, that Christian man. No, I'll get play. Go ahead. What's up, Mitchell, man? Long time, bro. What's good?
Good to be black in the building, family.
Black in the building. Give your spiel, bro. Go ahead.
Okay. So, our sister, Dr. Francis Cresswell Wells, told us, I don't like to reinvent the wheel, so I just give the solution that our sister, Dr. Francis Cresswell said. We have to replace the system of racism, white supremacy with a system of justice. But the system of justice we have to replace it with is an ancient tradition. We just need to bring it back up. It's called the system of truth, justice, righteousness, harmony, and reciprocity. But the system of justice that we replace the system of racism and white supremacy with has to be practiced amongst each other first. Perfected, tweaked, and then practiced amongst others.
Would that system be the same as somewhat equality or not?
No, it's a system towards us. Study the laws of Ma'at. We have to practice that towards each other. Tweak it so that we can understand the ecology of where we stand in. Because we can't use the ancient traditions today because the conditions that created it is not the same condition that we live in today. It's something that we just have to work on and practice because there's an African proverb that says, before you tear down a bridge, find out how it was built. You don't want to tear down something and then you rebuild a black supremacy system. We want a system of justice where it's equal and it's righteous towards all people, but we have to practice amongst each other first.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Is it a base of equality? So if I can,
right, but we got to practice amongst each other first.
Right. So if I can sum up what you're saying, we should go learn Mayat, and then we should first practice it among each other.
Yes.
And then the other races should follow what we are practicing, so we could have that balance among everybody.
That sounds perfect, my brother. You said it better than I could have.
Marlon, what's your solution for Kim Rod question? How do we overcome racism? Unmute yourself, bro.
I mean, I totally agree with the brother. I totally agree with the brother, because solidarity is the only way to make anything happen. If we don't stand together on one point, whether we agree on it or not, if we don't show unity for that one common cause, then we might as well just stay where we are and shut up, bro. Because
so
the only way to win is to
Marlon,
show.
Marlon, so you being a 5%er, you being a 5%er and mostly following the Quran. I mean, I know you agree with me 2 point overall, but do you agree that we should follow the laws of Mayat, or what would be your stance on if it's a religious text or a belief system or whatever? What you think? I mean, if it is Mayat, then just say yeah. But you being a 5%er, I kind of know it's not. But what would you say would be the standard of truth that we should follow and give to other people so that we all can live in a balanced life?
Well, I agree with Mayat, because I mean, 5%ers come from that region. You know what I'm saying? Muslims come from that region. So I agree with the Mayat way. I do. And I agree really with any way that's going to help Black people come to one common cause and one solidarity in one way. I agree with any way that will work. You know what I'm saying? I really do. And to be honest with you, the 5%ers really started the conscious movement. You see what I'm saying? Everybody had their consciousness, but nobody ever really displayed it until 5%ers started with rap music and just putting it out there, dropping lessons on people and dropping, jewels and songs. That's what really woke people up. That's what really woke people up.
I think my brothers, I think my brother Kim Rod and my brother Metu would disagree that 5%ers started consciousness. I mean, if I think so here in America, I think
so. Because
okay. Say that, because I'm gonna say they practice.
Here in America, definitely here in America.
So, but see, this is what I'll say. You know what I'm saying to them. What I'll say to Brother Marlon is Tribe Called Quest. You know what I'm saying. Other really, really deep hip hop artists. A lot of those guys were 5%ers, and in hip hop music, they were pioneers. You know what I'm saying, to a certain extent. They were the ones that really orchestrated a lot of that talk as well. So, as far as in the music industry, I will agree that a lot of the 5%ers were stepping up to deliver those particular types of lyrics, to deliver, you know what I'm saying, that type of stance and stuff like that. So I will extremely agree on that. I can't disagree with that at all. Yeah.
Okay, see, I'm wrong. Okay, see, I like this conversation. Jerome, what would be your way that you think that would overcome, how to conquer racism in America?
Okay, of course, everybody on this panel knows that I follow the philosophy of Ubuntu. And I feel like because Ubuntu emphasizes recognizing the common humanity in every person, it would be the solution to help override the racist ideology. But I also agree with Metu's point that we would have to establish Ubuntu among each other as a Black community first, and have other people follow suit. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a South African philosophy, and it actually helped during the apartheid era. So I feel like it would definitely help here as well. But the philosophy is so anti-Western that it would take a lot of reformation as far as the mentality that we've adopted for it to actually be effective.
That's beautiful. And I'll say this too, to add, not to cut you off, Trust, but I'll say this too. Like you guys said, I believe it was Neely Fuller Jr. that said that if we don't understand white supremacy as a system, everything else that we learn will only be more confusing. When we look at it in the stance of it being an actual system, a collective, unified field system. I'll use the words of our ancestor Francis Cress Welsing, a unified field system to where we're looking at it from individual points to where we can actually eliminate the power of the system, education, political, economic stability. We got too many people that's dribbling basketballs and throwing footballs. We have more of those people than scientists that are represented of color. So I think that what we need to do is that there's also another basis where we can start within the school system. Myself being a teacher, I was barred from teaching. I'm a music teacher by trade, but I would not teach that little black and brown children that Beethoven was white when he was his mother was a Moor. And so I was banned from teaching because of that. And I came before a panel, and they told me that my research was correct. They said that I was correct, but they still wanted me to teach the white way. They still wanted me to teach that Columbus discovered America. They still wanted me to teach, you know, all these different things that we know that are statistically incorrect, that are statistically unfactual, and are pseudo. And so that we need to really start as well in the education system. If you teach a black and brown child that he doesn't come from slavery, that your start did not start in slavery, that we can empower the black mind, we can empower the youth, we can empower the mind from a younger age, we can instill the principles, you know what I'm saying, love, caring, you know what I'm saying, treating your fellow man, just being human, you understand what I'm saying? Because racism is just inhumane. And I mean, I know you guys have several different ways, but I know that education is a very, very key component to that.
Well, I'm gonna say this, and I mean, I know I might be the eyeball out in this whole conversation with regards to how to solve the race problem, but I've said this.
Piankhi, somebody just came in. I can't tell who it is because he just say iPhone.
She good. She just listening. She good.
Okay, go ahead.
But the way I see it, I think the only way to solve the race problem, because I just gave y'all two examples of two white men who I was very close to, went out of my way to help, and regardless of that, still saw tendencies of racism.
Ooh, I got a story like that.
And so, but to be more specific, what I saw was
we all got one of them.
Choosing between,
I've been betrayed by him a lot.
Between black and white, they're gonna choose white.
Absolutely, no doubt about it.
Which makes perfect sense.
Definitely.
To me. So if you want to solve the race problem, I agree with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Oh.
You separate. And because otherwise you will always have a contingent of white people who feel, I'm not saying all, I'm saying you will have a contingent that feel a particular way about us, that are teaching the subsequent generations of their family to feel that same way. And they gonna teach they stuff, like when you see Dr. Joy DeGruy give her lecture, right, on post-traumatic slavery disorder. And she put up this slide, and it hit me in my chest because you see a black man hanging, several black men, you know, it's like 2 or 3 brothers that they've hung, and they little girls and they little boys out there looking at this display with the biggest smiles you ever seen in your life on their face.
Like they was at Chuck E. Cheese.
Like they was at a circus or like my brother said, Chuck E. Cheese or something. She got, they have a black man sprawled out who they've burnt alive, and they have their children standing out there with these huge smiles on their face. And so those children grew up and had children, and they had children. And so this thing continues to be perpetuated. So for me to feel secure and safe, and my grandchildren, my children, etc., I feel the only way for us to get rid of racism, or not necessarily get rid of it, but to deal with it in a real way, is for us to separate from those who are racist against us. Have our own. Everything that Metu said and that Jerome said about practicing Ma'at, Ubuntu, etc., we can do that in our own communities, in our own settings, without the corruption, hatred of our enemies. That's what I feel the solution is.
That's 100%.
So Piankhi, are you saying that we should divide from all white people or just racist white people?
Well, to me, you can't draw the line between, again, like I said earlier, before Kimra and Metu joined, I don't have the luxury of trying to figure out who is and who ain't racist.
I mean, we all heard what Muhammad Ali said. He said that if I got 40,000 white people, you know, so 40,000 snakes that want to kill me, but I know 10,000 of them don't. Do I not close the door to protect myself and hope that these 10,000 build a wall to protect me? Absolutely not.
No.
He said he's going to protect himself.
If I'm trying to build a nation,
eventually they're going to roll with them. Eventually they're going to roll with their own kind.
Hold up, y'all. Let me get my spiel real quick.
I got a few questions on the point Piankhi
Let me
made.
get my spiel for a second real quick, y'all. I let everybody else go.
Everybody else mute your mic.
Oh, no, they ain't got to mute. I agree with everybody but my brother Piankhi, since he said all of them. I agree with what Metru said. I agree with what Marlon said. I agree with what Jerome said. I agree with what the Phenom said as well. And I will put it in the words of.
Yeah, you just want to argue with me, man. I'm getting sick of this, man. Like, hey, bro, I'm telling you now, I'm getting sick of this.
Let me get my spiel, man.
God damn.
All of them on the basis of their argument was saying equality. Rather, if we learn it first and teach it to others, their whole basis was equality. So I agree with all three of them, and I'm gonna put it in the words of Dr. King. I feel like I'm gonna put it in the words of Dr. King. I feel like we should judge people based off the content of character and not the color of their skin. So whatever that balance come from, whoever learned it first, if it's us, if it's them, I feel like we all should learn that balance, and we all should try use that balance to live in perfect harmony with each other, seeing that we do share the same streets, same neighborhoods, same cities, same states, same countries. So
man,
we can't avoid each other.
I don't agree. I'm sorry. I don't agree.
Hold on, Marlon.
I don't agree.
Hold on, Marlon.
There is no getting around the fact that we all share this earth together, and we can't not act like we're not going to pass each other at some point in time. So if we're going to eradicate racism from the earth, I agree with the brothers who I just named, because their basis was solely put on balance and equality. And I can't disagree with that.
Hold on, Marlon, before you go, we're going to let Jerome go, but I'm going to say this to my brother Trust, who like to just disagree with me for the hell of it. But
you be wrong, bro.
I'm going to say this, Trust, because I went wrong. You brought up Dr. King.
No, I ain't saying you was wrong.
I'm going to say this, though. You brought up Dr. King as it pertains to what I said. And I'm going to tell you what Dr. King got from trying to judge people by the content of their character. He got shot in his face.
That still don't mean he wasn't right in what he got. But
what I'm saying is,
that don't mean he wasn't right.
As hard as he tried to love people and judge them by the content of their character, and everything he did to try to unify Black people and white people based on righteousness, he still got shot in his face. So I don't have the luxury of trying to disseminate good from bad.
That's not
I got you. Okay, I got you.
With my life.
I got you. But
nations coexist with each other who can't stand each other. Russia and the United States have coexisted for all of our lifetimes, and they can't stand each other. And we can do the same if we build our own nation.
So this is your premise. You're saying because Dr. King got shot in his face, somehow he was wrong? No, that means that the people who shot him was wrong. That don't mean
I didn't say
no, he didn't say he was wrong. He said that he was trying to achieve that. Yeah, he said he was trying to achieve it. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I don't have the luxury.
I would say that he was wrong for trying to bring us together, though.
That's what I'm saying, Marlon. I know that's what I'm saying. Even though it turned out the way it turned out, what he said, which lines up with what everybody else just said, that's still the right way to go.
Not quite. I agree.
That's our argument is.
I agree with the brother.
Marlon, bro.
We need to strengthen ourselves, man.
Hold on, Marlon. Let Trust get out what he gonna get out, and then we're gonna let Jerome go. Then it's on you.
All right.
The basis of this conversation is what Kimrod presented, as in how, as us as individuals, how will we get rid of racism? So Piankhi, I'm not saying what you were saying was wrong. I'm just saying I disagree, and I agree with what the other brothers said. I'm not saying what you said was wrong. You got the right to your opinion, like I got mine, and everybody else gave theirs. So I wasn't saying you was wrong. Yeah. I come on, bro. You're my brother, bro. I ain't worried about you,
myself, bro. I agree with him. We don't need white people to do that, though. We don't.
Marlon, you need to pick a hold on, Marlon. You need to pick a side, bro. At first you said you agree with what Metro and everybody else said about balance and teaching other people. Now you're saying
No,
you
no,
agree
no,
with what
balance
Piankhi
with
said when it comes to
ourselves.
divine.
No, he was talking about balance amongst us.
To be honest, Trust, you know what I'm saying? I was when I was saying with teaching, I was saying teaching Black and brown children.
Thank you.
That was what I was actually saying, you know what I'm saying? I was saying, yeah, and like I said, I'm not saying anything other than that, but to teach, you know what I'm saying, to teach the balance, to teach it to Black and brown children. With Piankhi, I know he shared his story. I have some real quick. A friend of mine, his name is Timothy Klubine. Okay, he's as white as they come, plaid shirts, you know what I'm saying, lumberjack beard. He's who he is. He actually he's a game friend of mine. I play a video game with him. And he actually, when my computer went down, this dude went out of his way and built me a brand new computer, and he sent it to my house so that me and him can continue gaming together. Okay. Now it wasn't shortly after that when I actually found out that he was a member of the Proud Boys. That he was a member of the Proud Boys. But this guy, he talks to me.
What's wrong with the Proud Boys?
What'd you say?
I said, what's wrong with the Proud Boys?
I mean, what's wrong with the KKK?
Yeah, same thing.
Did you know that the president of the Proud Boys is actually a Mexican man and a Black man?
Absolutely. And did you know that the KKK actually practice Christianity, and on their robes they say Jesus saves?
Thank you.
Oh, but that's a totally different argument.
It's the same thing. Come on now, Trust. Come on now, Trust. Trust, it's the same thing, Trust.
Is everybody gonna cut everybody off?
That's not righteous, Kobe. That's not righteous.
No. Listen, come on, man. Y'all gotta listen to the argument, fam. If the argument is that I disagree. I didn't really hear the argument that you was making, but if you're and this is me assuming, if you're disassociating yourself with a person for following the Proud Boys under the assumption that the Proud Boys is a white supremacist group, that's what I was disagreeing with. I wasn't, so that has nothing to do with if the KKK practice Christianity and none of that, because we could talk about that, but that's a whole different argument, is what I'm saying.
No, I understand. You know what I'm saying? I understand that you wanted to make that point, but I'll digress back to the story that I was saying. So I found out that he was a member of the Proud Boys and also a member of several other alt-right racist groups who have actually had racist roots and racist rhetoric. You can go to their websites. You understand what I'm saying? They have pictures of hangings and different things like that. Now, I didn't know that he was a member of all this stuff because, once again, I'm just trying to look at him for the content of his character, not the color of his skin. He also is a avid Trump supporter. He does not believe in any type of women's rights. He believes that women are inferior and that they should have no place in society. He feels that a woman could not handle any type of job, especially with presidency. And he uses little fickle things like, oh, she could be on her period. But I mean, I guess he forgets that every war has been started by a man in history. So I think that he kind of forgets that particular point. But to wrap it all up, you just never know who a person is behind the scenes. This person was somebody who I thought that I knew, you know what I'm saying? And then in further research and looking at his background, I see that he has a very, 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 very weird disdain for me. And so since we found out about this, I'll give you up to date. Since we found out about this, he's usually nowhere to be found anymore. Now, he used to be in a whole room full of Black people gaming. And then we found out what you guys, the scripture for you guys, I think it's in Jeremiah, where you said that you lift up the skirts to reveal the shame. I think that's what particularly happened with me. And I was able to reveal his shame. And so it really, really sucks, you know what I'm saying? Because I thought he was a good person. You know, he was pretty much the only person I could say that was Caucasian that I thought was a good person. But here we are, you know what I'm saying? It just, once again, it just always shows and proves that it's just never, you know what I'm saying? It's just that you can never have a good one where it's like, yeah, you know.
You can't trust him, bro. You just can't trust him. I don't give a damn. You just can't.
Let's let Jerome go in.
He's solid, man. White people are not solid, man.
Let's let Jerome go in, and then we're going to go to Marlon.
Okay. Now, my thing is, because the point Piankhi brought up, or the solution Piankhi brought up, I've heard Elijah Muhammad spill on it, and I've heard Farrakhan spill on it. And I just heard Khalid Muhammad spill on it. When you talk about this whole idea of separation of the races, no matter what it's based on, when you as a Black person when you're advocating for separation of races, no matter the situation or the reasoning, what you're not understanding essentially is that you're holding yourself captive to an idea that stems from white racism. So I can't agree with that particular solution as far as how to elevate or how to end racism as an institution.
All right. Okay, Marlon.
I mean, no disrespect to you, brother. No disrespect, but that makes no sense.
Let me say
man.
this real quick, Marlon, and
makes no sense.
This is gonna be real brief. I think I should say I don't think that you can end racism, which is why I feel like separation is the only way for us not to be affected by it. That's more so my point.
But that idea is not original. It's not original to you. That is an idea that stems from white racism, and therefore is birthed out of a racist mindset and ideology. That's all I'm saying.
I'm fine with that.
Because
but a black person,
as long as me and my people are no longer affected by racism and white supremacy, I'm fine with where the idea came from.
Because we damn sure can live without them, bro. Because we have no problem inventing, coming up with. We don't have a problem, man. You know what I'm saying? Black people, we bring the spice to everywhere we go. You know what I'm saying? That's why every city in America was started out with black people being in it, because we put the juice there. You see what I'm saying? We brought what they needed to get the city pumping. We made it a name, and then when everybody knew about it, they gentrified it and moved black people further out, so that y'all could start another city out there. And when y'all start that one, we're gonna move y'all out some more. Yeah, I mean, come on, man. We the life to the earth. Bro.
What you saying is what you and Piankhi are saying.
They use us. I'm gonna just say it.
You would rather you would
right back around to you. Let them go.
Go ahead, Marlon.
I'm saying they use us, man. You know what I'm saying? They know that we bring life to everywhere we go. If it wasn't no black people here, there wouldn't be nothing here, bro. I don't care what white people invent. I don't care what they come up with. There would be no life to their situations, man.
Somebody else just what it is, bro. Go ahead. My bad.
Because we make the cities what they are. Every city that's popping right now is popping because black people are there. And once they make the city, once the name gets out there and it gets known across America, they push you out the city because they got people coming in now. Their city's making money now. So we're gonna push you out. You're gonna make us another spot and gonna make it popular. Then we're gonna push you out some more. And every spot you make popular, we're gonna take it and we're gonna make it white. Right in Charleston, you go downtown right now, the whole area that was once black and was popping, it's still popping, but the white people down there now, because they already got what they needed from the black people. I got it running. So now get y'all ass out of here, and we gonna take it from here.
Okay, Jerome.
So Jerome, are you saying that? Are you saying?
Hold on, Kimber, real quick. Let Jerome go ahead and respond like he was about to do with Marlon.
Jerome, you give your rebuttal and then let Metu go next because Metu ain't said nothing in a while.
All right, so I get the reasoning behind it. I really do. But my thing is, for me personally, I would rather liberate myself from a mentality that stems from white racism than to continue to be held captive mentally. Even if you're physically free, mentally you are still held captive to a white racist supremacist ideology. So that's just my whole thing. I understand y'all may not agree with it, but you know that's where I stand with it. That's why
are you saying too, Jerome?
I don't agree because that's not going to work, Jerome.
Are you saying, Jerome? Are you saying that black people are racist? Is that what you're implying?
No, what I'm saying, what I'm saying is, with what Elijah Muhammad, what the crux of his rhetoric to me was racist, and the fact that both of his grandfathers were white, the fact that both of his don't listen. Let me get my point across.
Hold on, Marlon.
Yeah, let him speak, Marlon. Yeah, let me hear what he has to say.
The fact that both of Elijah Muhammad's grandfathers were white, and for him to say that white people are devils, it to me that doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? But for people who like Khalid Muhammad and others who have adopted that mentality, man, you are adopting a racist